Hey, how's it going? It's Heather with Papers, Caffeine, and Life. Grab your favorite drink, pull up a chair, get some cool paper, and let's get busy. Today we're going to work on a recipe journal. If you saw my short with all the recipe books that I bought from the yard sale and all the papers that I started printing, I already have one page done, and I will show you that at the end of this video. But for now, we're going to use this brown paper lunch bag to create our expandable recipe card holder. So it's just a small size brown paper lunch bag. Let's go ahead and get this cut. All right, so the first thing you want to do is bring in whichever journal you want. I'm going to move my drink out of the way. This is what I'm going to use, and I picked, it's just the Philadelphia Cream Cheese Cookbook, and I just picked a random page in the book. Now, if you can see, it's a little too wide for the journal. And that's okay. What we're going to do is we're just going to turn it sideways and use it that way. So you just want to figure what size you want it to be. Do you want a little bit of an overhang? Do you want it right to the edge? Totally up to you. I'm just going to put it kind of where I think I want it and go ahead and crease it. And then I will cut it and come right back. All right, so it's cut. This is the part that we're not going to use. This will work perfect for something maybe later on in the journal, or we'll put it in our scrap bin. This is what we really want. So you're going to lay it on your page wherever you want it. Make for sure that it fits, and I think it looks really nice in there. What we're going to do is decorate this all up, but instead of just having only this, and when it opens, this is going to be glued down, and it's going to open like this. So you can put your recipe cards in there. We will make some. And close again. We're also going to create two pockets. So our first pocket is going to be under this flap. And our second pocket is going to be under here. So basically this area right here is also going to be a pocket. So what we're going to do to create that is we're going to kill two birds with one stone. We're going to make this bottom more sturdy so that it doesn't have a tendency to try and rip. And we're going to create our pocket. So we're going to add cardstock to this. And when we add our cardstock, that's going to be our top loading pocket, okay? And then our side loading pocket is just going to be the bottom flap itself. So now this can be any kind of cardstock. It can actually be some cardboard. It doesn't matter what you use, as long as it's a little sturdy. You don't want to use anything that's too light, because then you're really not going to get the benefit of it. So I just have this 6x6 paper pad. I've had it for years. I got it from Ollie's, and it just has nice dark color papers, and they are a little bit thicker. So that's what we want, okay? Now, what you need to do is measure what size you want. Now, you don't have to make it go all the way to the edge. You do not have to. I would actually say come in just a little bit from the edge, just so you know that your bag is not going to get cut open, okay? Because this is actually my second time that I tried this particular thing, and the first time I sliced my bag open the wrong way. So this is take two. All right, so I'm just going to mark where I want it to cut and mark where I want to cut. And I'm going to get this piece cut, and then I'll come right back and we'll glue it on. All right, we're cut and we're ready to go. So what you're going to do is you're going to glue it on three sides and then just pop it down. Now, I did leave quite a bit of a border all the way around it, and that'll still create a nice sturdy bottom for this, and it'll create a nice little pocket, okay? So I'm just going to cut it pretty much I'm just going to glue it pretty much just like that, okay? And for this, I am using art glitter. You can use whatever you have, whatever you like best. I did finally decide to fill my bottle up. All right, perfect. So now when it lays on your paper, your little pocket's going to be up here, and this is going to be glued against the page, and then your pocket's going to be here also. Okay, but we're not going to glue any of that down yet until we get ready to place it on our paper. So now you have to decide, do you want to do both sides the same, or do you want both sides to be just a little bit different? And also, do you want to put anything fun and fancy on the bottom? Now, I do want to put something on the bottom. I'm not going to cover the inside because that's just too much. And I do want to cover the outside. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to put on the inside, but I do know that I want to use some cardstock. And I love this kind of like orange plaid gingham pattern. I think it's very retro with our cookbook, and I think it'll go really well with a lot of our papers that we have. Now, it is only one-sided. You don't need double-sided for this just because it's almost a waste. And again, I am going to leave a little bit of a border just because A, it's easier, and B, I like that look. So let's just go ahead and mark out kind of where we want it to be. And I have noticed with these paper bags, they're definitely not square. They're not even all the way around. Nothing. So it is a little tricky when you're trying to get a good, accurate cut on things. All right. So I have it cut, and I actually went ahead and cut both pieces because I do want both of my sides to be exactly the same. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around the edges with a little bit of brown ink. This is completely optional, and you definitely don't need to watch me do this. So I'm just going to skip over this, and I'm going to come back when I'm completely finished. Okay, so I'm done. Now, one thing we're going to do first, because this bottom is the same as the top, you don't want it to be right to the edge or the inside. You don't want it to be right to the edge or anything. So before we go ahead and glue the outside on, because then they're going to have to sit for a few minutes so then we can bend them, we're going to go ahead and get the bottom cut. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and use the brown just like we did before. I think this actually might be big enough. Let's see. With the hole in it, maybe not. It's actually not going to be, darn it. Okay. That's okay. We'll just get another brown piece. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and measure it, and then I'll cut it and come back. All right, we have another piece cut and ready to go. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and put it down in our little baggie, and I'm going to completely glue this. We don't need to leave any of it open. All right, so that's pushed down in nicely. It is pretty centered. I mean, I probably could have got it that way just a little bit, but I think it's okay. And that's going to make that bottom really, really nice and sturdy. So next thing we're going to do is go ahead and glue these on. And you just want to be careful when you're gluing the second one on that you don't bend this side too soon, because it might have a tendency to pull your paper back off of it. Super cute. I love the brown with the orange. I think it looks really nice. Okay, so we actually are going to have to wait a minute before we glue the second sheet on, which is fine. So our thing is going to be this way. This is our top. So let's figure out kind of what we want to put on this. All right, now I do think I want a little bit of lace, so let me go grab some. All right, so I found some pretty orange lace. It's going to go really well with our orange plaid paper. And I'm just going to glue it right across the center. And I'm only going to where the cardstock is. I'm not going to go over that. Okay. Fabulous. Now we'll go ahead and glue this down. And we'll glue the cutting board and veggies down. So now, when you open this up, it will be nice and sturdy and it'll stay open nicely. Now you can decorate the other side if you also choose to. I'm not sure I'm going to decorate both sides, or if I do, I'm not sure if I'm going to decorate it quite so significantly. I may actually just put kind of like a little label or something. That way, if they're special family recipes, you could kind of put, you know, like who these recipes belonged to, or, you know, who you're giving them to, or anything like that. All right, so we have that. Make sure it is pushed down nicely. I'm going to give this a good amount of time to dry before I try and fold it because I don't want to mess it up. I do like this particular label, so I think we're going to go with that one. And I might have to cut it down just a little tiny bit, and that'll be okay. And I do kind of like a border, so I think I'm going to glue this down and have a border with that brown paper. Like that. All right, so that'll be perfect. One more thing I do want to do. I was going to do that orange ribbon around, or that orange lace around the middle like I did on the other one. But it's not actually going to show up. So all I'm going to do is stick some glue down and make like a little tab. You could leave this as a pocket, but I'm not. I feel like there's probably going to be enough pocket. Just like that. And I'm going to flip it over and press it down this way. And then in a minute, we can go ahead and fold this, so it'll be okay. So that's what this side is going to look like, and I love it. I think it looks super cute. Let's leave this for just another minute. And let's go ahead and see what we can find. What I think I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to use some of this paper, but I'm just going to trim the bottom. So we're going to do like 6 cards. 4, 5, 6. All right, so I think I'll just trim off the wide part of the top. And that should give us a pretty decent size. Yeah, and it fits from edge to edge. If you wanted to, I might actually trim just a little tiny bit off the side, so it's not quite as tight in there. All right, so that's perfect. And then I think I just want to use, let's see, I kind of think I want to use this right in the middle in like a really, really light color. Let's see, if I use this, it might be a little dark. Oh, I actually think that's fabulous. It's not super dark. So let's go ahead and do the rest of it like that. So we'll stick these in and you can put your own favorite family recipes on them. Now the time has come to fold it. And I'm glad we waited because it actually folded really well. So there's that side and there's this side, and it folded fabulously. Basically now all we have to do is stick it in our book. And because this expands so much, you can put a ton of recipes in it or pictures, anything you'd like. So this is what it's going to look like. Now, the next question becomes, because this whole recipe is not going to show, the next question becomes, do we cover this or do we put something else on it or do we leave it? I feel bad leaving it because then if you really wanted to make this, you wouldn't be able to. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to cover it. So I'm going to grab some paper to put behind this, and then once I get it picked out, I'm going to cut it and ink around it, and then I'll come back. I think I'm going to cut the whole paper just so it's all one sheet and you're not going to get caught on anything when you're trying to stick in your pocket. So hang on. Okay. So this is the paper that I decided on. It's just a really pretty light blue polka dot, and I think it looks really, really good with the orange. So you can see there's just a little bit of a border all the way around it, which I like. And it goes really, really well with the colors. So I'm going to go ahead and get this glued down. And again, I left some border around it. That looks good. And like the pages that have the pictures on it, unless it's like a really weird kind of food picture, I'm going to leave it. So this is basically what, the spread is going to be. All right. So now remember we have our top pocket. So we're going to glue on the 3 sides and leave our wide side open. And I'm actually gluing just on the cardstock. I'm not going to glue on the paper bag. So I'm going to make sure it goes all the way to the edge for the most part. Just like that. Make sure we're kind of centered on the paper. And then when it opens, this is what you'll see. And then when we close it, this is what you'll see. And then do remember, so I'm not going to create anything to go in these pockets yet because I'm not sure. But you'll have your pocket here. And then you'll also have your pocket here. This one might take a little work getting in and out of, just until it gets broken in, because now we do have that cardstock. So you have two pockets and your big wide open space for all your recipes. So I thought about putting something up here, but I don't think I'm going to, because that way you can journal on it. Because it's light enough that if you use a marker or something, you're actually going to be able to see it. So this is another page done in our book. Like I said, I'm not going to do anything to this because I just think most of the pictures are cool. So this is what it is. And let me flip and I'll show you the first page that I did. So this is the very first inside cover. I just left this part is original, so I just left this blank, and I covered this with a little recipe because there was some writing on it. And then I just created a nice big pocket, okay, that we have to put something in. And then I collaged this whole entire page. I did almost like a masterboard. I put some lace down the side of it, and I created a big pocket here, and I created a small pocket here on top of this label. And then, of course, you have the label that you can write something on. So this is the very first page in the book. I'm not going to do the cover until probably I'm completely finished, just to see what kind of personality this book takes on. And then to prep this book, now the only thing I did is I went through and I glued some of the pages together. Some of the pages that I glued together, I created pockets. So like this one's a single page. I just folded up to create like a side tuck. Let's see. Oh, this one here I glued together, and then I created a big pocket, and then I did the thumb notch. And then I've also created some pockets. See if I can find one that's a top loading pocket. Let's see. There's another pocket. Well, maybe oh, here's one. Okay. So I created like a giant top loading pocket as well. So we're going to continue to work on this throughout probably the summer and see where we get. I know it's going to be like probably huge by the time we get done. But that's what's nice about the ring bound cookbooks, because it does expand, and it expands really well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed this new format with the little bit lower lighting and the new intro, and hopefully this video was a little bit more upbeat and it flowed a little bit more than some of my other videos, let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.